Clayton Reid is the man at the helm of the world's largest travel marketing company, MMGY Global. All right, Clayton, forget the plane. How about even drive? I mean, for the first time in 20 years, AAA will not be putting out its famed Memorial Day travel forecast. They're blaming the pandemic, but what does that tell a travel marketing guru like you?
Yeah. Hi, Liz. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I think it's really important to talk about travel in this context, too, because it's going to be so important to how the economy recovers. I think it's hard for AAA to gauge what this Memorial Day traffic is going to look like, mostly because I think a lot of it's going to be inside communities themselves. You know, you're going to have, just to give you some context, last Memorial Day, 43 million Americans traveled for Memorial Day. They spent over $12 billion in basically 3 days. And I think that pattern is going to be quite a bit different this year. Of course, far fewer people will travel. The low point in the last 10 years was 2009, coming out of a recession when 31 million people took to the roads. I think this year it's going to look more like people going into their own communities or only driving a couple hours away. And you also have to think about the fact that a lot of capacity is still not back online yet. Over 31 hotels in the U.S. are still closed. And you've got capacity concerns. So restaurants can only serve so many people. Attractions can maybe be reduced capacity. So the spending is going to be far less. But I will tell you that we are seeing in our own sentiment survey, there is a ton of pent-up demand. People are ready to get out of their homes. And we do think there will be a lot of people on the roads this Memorial Day, just in a little bit of a different way.
Tell me how important the Venetian news is to somebody like you.
Yeah, and you said it exactly right. Las Vegas Sands and Venetian are a bellwether for gaming. They are opening. They're saying they're going to open a vast majority of what they're doing. You did a story earlier on United and Clorox. Venetian is launching a campaign called Venetian Clean. They understand the optics of signaling security and safety, but they also understand that people want to come in and enjoy the casino. And I think when you have a bellwether like that in Las Vegas, where you think about mass crowds and scale, that tells you a lot. And I don't believe that the Venetian or anyone else would be opening up. Carnival Cruise Lines is going to cruise in August unless there was demand. And we are definitely seeing a pickup in demand. The hotel industry was looking at 8-9% occupancy in early April. We see that ticking up into the 30s now. It's growing quickly. And we've even seen hotels on beach locations in California and Florida run 80 or 90% occupancies. And I just this morning heard from an industry expert that said there are resorts in Texas, in Colorado, that were sold out for last weekend. So there are demand pockets for sure. That doesn't solve the problem that we basically have to get in travel, but it is coming back.
Clayton, one of the first things that went as soon as everything shut down were marketing budgets. Travel and leisure, obviously, we're going to say, forget it. That would be like wasted money going down the toilet because we're closed. So are you starting to see marketing budgets come back? Because I can tell you, working at any network, our biggest marketing buys from different customers would be the auto industry and travel and leisure and the cruise lines, obviously. But they just shut down. So what's happening there? Do you start to see those marketing budgets perk up once again?
Yeah, 100% right, Liz. First I was surprised at how quickly travel stopped and marketers quickly stop their own communication. I think with some exceptions. Search marketing's still gone on in a small way, some PR crisis communication, a little bit of social marketing's gone on just to keep travelers aware of what brands are thinking and when they might be open again. But we are starting to see that pick up as well. Early on, we saw industry leaders like the city of Las Vegas run hopeful campaigns talking about the empathy for the situation. And you've seen a number of brands do that. I think we're starting to pivot now to travel suppliers talking about the actual travel itself. When you hear airline executives like Gary Kelly at Southwest talk about demand picking up, and you see Southwest now sending out offers on a regular cadence now to get people back into planes. And I will say, a lot of this early marketing is going to be inducement based. So you're going to see low fares, low rates. We know that coming out of any kind of crisis, whether it be a health crisis, a terrorism attack, or even a recession, value inducements or low fares are often the way the industry drives recovery.
Well, finally, there's got to be a loser in all of this, because we know that as people decide to come back, and whether it's staycations or nearby hotels and budget names, who loses out? Is it fair to say that if we were to look at the Eiffel Tower glittering in all of its glory, Are people going to go to Paris or just Paris Hotel in Vegas?
Yeah, we study this every other week. So we talk to travelers with the U.S. Travel Association. We talk to travelers every other week and kind of gauge this idea about what they want to do. The winners early on are going to be leisure-focused and value-focused brands that are primarily looking at drive travel.
All right.
We know from our most recent study that 72% of travelers feel safest in their car. They want to be in a controlled environment, and they're looking, as I said earlier, for a value. So expect winners to be ultra-low-cost carriers like Frontier, Spirit, Southwest. Look for economy hotel chains to do well in drive traffic. The losers early on, maybe not losers, but the people that are going to struggle early on are long-haul international carriers, because not only is there not a lot of leisure intent to go a long way right now on an airplane, but you remember that a lot of revenue for the airlines is coming from front of the bus, first class and premium fare passengers in the corporate side of travel, who are certainly going to be several quarters and laggards in terms of their travel. So that's also very hard for the airlines in particular.
Gotcha. Clayton, great to see you. Thank you so much. Clayton Reid.